Hmm. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the lounge. I'm your host, Long Tom. This is the lounge. Sometimes there's cats. We get together here every Tuesday evening, 8 p.m. to quote unquote 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and we play Caverns and Klombos, which is our little take on Dungeons and Dragons in LEGO Fortnite. But yeah, uh, as is tradition, here with Monday Olives and Trone Karam. Remy Lexington should be joining us in a little while, and we may see Spicy Plays at some point, but fingers crossed. They're having, I presume, a storm currently, which has rendered them unable to join us currently. But yeah, we're going to check out the shop, and we'll jump in and go from there. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing good.
I'm doing exceptional.
Like, yeah, exceptional is always preferable if you can get it.
I agree.
Hey, what's up, Serto? That's right, it is on. Nevermore, welcome to the chat. Uh, but yeah, happy anniversary. It has been exactly a year because we started on July 1st of last year. Hey, Syria, what's up? Syria made it to chat. She's up way past her bedtime. Um, but yeah, it's been a year. We started, well, by we, I started the Caverns and Klombos world. The date it was created was 6/30/24. So what? That's 2 days before we played, or one day before we played. And the Discord, we have a playtesters Discord that was started around the same time, exactly the same time, and Rooster was the first person to join that same day on the 30th. And then we had Gracie on the 2nd and Tronin Monday both on the 3rd. Remy and Abide Guy joined us both in August around the 21st. And then Spicy's been with us since January 28th. So, um, yeah, hey, what's up, Orion? Welcome to the chat. Happy anniversary. Um, but yeah, we're checking out the shop real quick. It's probably going to be super quick because I have most of this stuff and kind of waiting on a couple of particular items to roll through. I really want to see what they come up with for the companions, like the pets that are supposed to be coming out. So uh, I know that won't be out probably until Epic's back from vacation. I think they come back the 11th. Um, and then the next update day after that, I think, is the 15th, if I recall. Uh, let's see. Yeah, heck yeah. Good to see everybody in chat tonight. Um, that was pretty. Look at that. That's super nice. I kind of like this polygonal boost as well. Reminds me of the old PlayStation days. All right. But yeah, here we are. Caverns and Klombos, created 6/30/2024. And the very next day after that, we were beating up people in bars.
Not all of us. A certain old man was trying to de-escalate the situation.
Actually, yeah, you're, if I recall correctly, uh, and it's unfortunate those first few episodes are all on Twitch, so I don't have a record of them because I didn't realize that they delete the VODs. I just presumed it was like YouTube, and they kind of stuck around forever. But if I recall, you were the only one who didn't get arrested in the initial bar brawl, and then you like nuked your way into, or were in the process of nuking your way into the jail to rescue everyone while they were nuking their way out.
Yep, color spraying and knocking people unconscious.
Yeah. The good old days
Good
of
old
color
days.
spray. Could have swore I hit play, but apparently I've just been sitting here in the lobby like a doofus.
Ah, yes, the wild doofus.
the wild doofus cavern master.
In his natural habitat.
Yeah. The cavernous mastercus dooficus majorus. Dun dun dun. All right. Where are you folks, I guess, is the first question. Oh, there you guys are. Pew, 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 pew. As the world formed, your icons eventually showed up. Nice daggers.
Oh, yeah.
What do you got on those bad Larrys?
Let me check. Probably something I'm not allowed to have. I'm probably not even allowed to have. No, definitely not allowed to have these daggers. Damn. Oh, where does it say the actual? Oh, that's weird. So it wants me to scroll down, but when I move the mouse to scroll down, it like hovers over a different item.
Weird. Yeah, I've been having lots of weird inventory issues as well.
Yeah, that's definitely the first time I've encountered that issue.
Yeah. But if I had to guess, those were Shatterhorn with
zapping and damage, I think.
Metal shafts on them. Yeah. The poor guardhouse still has yet to be repaired. Do. Has anyone heard from Remy today? I didn't actually see if they responded to the
I could be wrong, but I feel like someone last week said they might not be able to make it this week. And I feel like it might have been Remy, but I don't remember for sure.
Now that you're saying all this out loud, I'm starting to feel that way too. Shoot. Which means we're down 2 players. Which is all right. We can carry on. Well, shoot. I guess we got nothing to wait for. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Let me find all of my things. Alright, this one. Alright. I guess we're gonna go ahead and start. And normally we begin each stream with what we like to refer to as Monday's Tuesday Madcap Recap. We had kind of a slight episode last week because we're kind of in a little bit of a holding pattern as we wait for the new updates to come out as they add all kinds of different things. Hey, what's up, Burger King? But yeah, Monday, whenever you're ready, take it away.
Previously on Kaverns Klombos. 2 weeks ago, the crew executed their wild plan to break 17 out of the rock. Monday posed as the infamous terrorists Monday Olives, while Brock, Gen, and Spicy acted as bounty hunters, returning their prisoner. While Monday and Brock infiltrated through the intake, Gen and Spicy slipped into the sewers to cut the power at the right moment. The plan nearly unraveled when the pair ran into an old friend, a bad guy, now working inside the prison. Meanwhile, Gen and Spicy discovered an underground society of intelligent rat folk who believed Gen was the prophesized ranger sent to lead them to freedom. With their help, the detectors were disabled. The Mojo Field was shut down and the chaos erupted. After a prison-wide brawl, the team reunited with 17 and escaped via a flying machine crafted by the Onceler in true Da Vinci style, along with a legion of ratfolk accidentally fulfilling an ancient prophecy. For once, the party earned a well-deserved happy ending. Abide might even open a pizza parlor in their home base. Last week, the party took a moment to breathe and regrouped. During their downtime, they were approached by a wandering merchant whose stories hinted at new dangers brewing across the land. He spoke of 3 new weapons of war beginning to circulate among adventurers and factions alike. A pair of dual daggers, forged for lightning-fast assassins. A mojo-powered hammer, and actually, I take that back. Just a hammer. It's just a hammer. It's just a hammer. I don't know why I wrote Mojo Hammer. I apologize. And perhaps most unsettling, dual plasma guns. An arcane firearm said to blend precision and unnatural speed. The party was left wondering who had created these weapons and what kind of forces might be preparing for conflict behind the scenes. Though no battles were fought, well, technically battles were fought, but it wasn't like a story battles. It was just, you know what? You know what? These notes are over. That's the end of the notes.
All right.
Will everything erupt into chaos?
Yep, that is the traditional last line.
Or will it be complete and utter chaos?
Or will my notes explode in complete and utter chaos? Yeah, that's pretty much what's up. The party rescued their friend 17, the leader of the gang, from the Rock, the maximum security prison they were all trapped in for, what was it, 7 weeks? You guys were in there? Some madness.
It was a crazy long time, but it was awesome.
But rescued 17 on the way home. He needed to retrieve his namesake armor, being the little brother of a local captain by the name of Captain Pauldron. After coming back, running around with 17 on some misadventures for a while, you guys all end up coming back to Cutlass Cove, which, even in the short time since you've been away, the couple weeks it took, sailing to the prison and back, and, your little detours, all of that, things have improved, like, visibly. All the things that you folks did before you left, restoring the inn, restoring the tavern, helping the townsfolk, all that has seemed to start adding up. And in addition to that, the rejuvenation of town has attracted new people to town, which has meant that you've been able to, in your absence, fill those work crews to go out and start setting up mines. And beyond that, the mining is, in some instances, has already begun. You guys all got new teletrones after, realizing how integral they were, once again, after the prison. And huge parties and big excitement when on 17, Robert Pauldron's return. But time's passed now, the excitement's kind of dulled down, and you guys have all kind of like fallen into like a casual rhythm of just, helping out around town and, et cetera, et cetera. And one of the things that you folks have started taking to doing each evening as the sun begins to set is retiring to what is it, the Drunken Raven? Did I get it right this time?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Drunken Raven.
Yeah, the inebriated crow. The tipsy chicken.
The intoxicated swallow.
Yeah. There you go. The intoxicating swallow. I love it. That's what. That's its new name.
Here's a glitch.
But at this point, folks around town like definitely know your names. You know, they see you and nod in deference. You know, they know the part you've all been playing in the rebuilding of Cutlass Cove. And because even prior to the incident that left Cutlass Cove in this state of disrepair, which I'm sure had nothing to do with you guys at all. Hey, what's up, July? Things weren't going great in town. You know, it was kind of dealing with the same ravages of the storms and the undead and, all those types of things that are, related to the rise or reoccurrence of Zarya and Mortho. So you folks are all kicking it at the bar. And in addition to you, all, the usual suspects are all kind of there, Pauldron and 17, the Onceler and Abide guy started an open mic night once a week, so, he's in there quite often. Conqueso is in there quite a bit, talking to the other sailors. Pretty much, July, it's your month. Pretty much, everybody that you know is in there and kicking it. So yeah, it's your average evening in the tavern. My controller's still doing that thing where it tells me it's not plugged in when I know it is. But yeah, with that menagerie of NPCs, is there anybody you folks specifically want to speak to or have questions for?
I want to let everybody know that I am learning how to play the claw horn.
I think is it clue horn? I think it might be clue horn. Trone knows.
I think Monday definitely calls it the claw horn regardless.
When he's like, I don't care what it's called. But all right, everybody, kind of all right, woo, they raise their glass a little to you, Yeah, every time I set the controller down, July, it does that with the. It's pretty goofy, but what can you do? But any serious inquiries or anything
So I'm going to
you?
ask the Onceler if he knows where these new weapons and stuff are coming from.
He says that it's funny that you mention it because that's one of the things they've been came together tonight specifically to discuss. He says, that his own sources, and then between, the Bloody Bottom pirates, Pauldron's crew, and, the researcher in your library there at the Bastion, but then also talking to Scoop at the newspaper, and all of them pulling in pretty much every favor that they've ever been owed. They've found out quite a few things that they think are going to help all around. But in order to answer your question, this world, as he says he's mentioned before, isn't the only world. Like the world that Harry came from and that Monday came from are adjacent to this one, but are totally different from this one. And that the veil between these various realms is starting to weaken. Like the more and more damage to the world that Zari and Martho do, and the more that they, draw the energy of the world, the weaker the world's essentially magnetic field becomes. For lack of a better term, it's like its ozone protecting from the, rays of the sun is deteriorated enough that now, things are slipping through. Which he suspects is what the rifts are doing in the first place. It's just that they're a concentrated form, like a controlled, someone's manipulating time and space in order to create those rifts by punching a hole through the reality. So like the supply drops that come in, the random, everything that's ever rifted in, essentially, is being stripped from some parallel world. And
So
those
you're saying
weapons...
there's incursions happening.
What was that?
So you're saying there's incursions happening.
He laughs. He's like, I am alarmed that you know that word, but yes.
It was in one of your sacred texts.
Right. He says he's glad you bring that up as well, because that's another good point. The world that Harry and Monday and Abide and Gracie all originally come from is a hub world for all of these different places, like the place where his sacred text came from and the heroes that are in the pages of it. Harry's mentioned before, remembering them from his restaurant. So they exist in this other world. And these weapons and other changes that the high priestess of the druids and different mage groups and whatnot have all kind of come to the conclusion that this is what's happening, is these two worlds are almost like folding over on each other and creating incursions. Hey, Haskins. Sorry, what was that, Tron?
I'm guessing that's bad.
He said they don't know. Because this is the first time that they're even aware of anyone witnessing what's going on with the duality and the darkness, and Zari and Martho and the heroes and all that, and seeing it from that perspective. So this might be part of how this world balances itself, every 1,011 years, apparently. So it may be totally normal and not necessarily bad. But he says that, already, the things that they've experienced, a growth in power and, these new weapons and, things like that showing up, he can only presume that, the other side is experiencing the same thing. So it could end up being bad. We may end up having to fight, things that we've never heard of before, never seen, never experienced. But if we're also gaining the ability, then, there's apparently a way to keep maintaining that balance.
If only someone could set up a school for this.
Like a school for superheroes. Like the Teen Titans.
They could call it Awesome College.
Yeah, Yeah, yeah. Like, what are you doing on the ceiling?
I think I drank enough food for this.
I'm not upside down. You're right side up.
Fair enough. Um, but the group all kind of, you know, murmurs amongst themselves. You know, kind of, you know, everybody has their own little theory, and you know, little, you know, nods of agreement, and you know, head shakes of disapproval. Um, but mm, 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 mm. Sorry, I got
I don't mean to interrupt, but am I floating upside down right now?
negative.
Oh, okay. On my screen, I'm stuck upside down.
Oh, right on. Sorry, I got distracted by the sound of breaking. Uh, but in addition to you know, these talks they've been having about, you know, the new weapons and the new uh, you know, incursions, um, the history and obviously the things that need to happen in a more immediate sense. You know, the mission, as it's always been, to stop Zari and Martho, um, kind of comes to the table once again. Um, and they say that, you know, the ancient tales, blah, 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 the ancient tales kind of tell the story that, you know, like, you know, the heroes fought the bad guy, the end. You know, like it was kind of like a, you know, just quick, you know, bada boom, bada bing, you know, let's get lunch kind of thing. But the reality of it is that the battle between those five remaining heroes and Zarya and Mortho like took place over years. You know, there was like large scale battles. There was, you know, obviously the final conflict, but uh, you know, it wasn't as cut and dried as the legends kind of made it out to be. Um, so between the grasslands and everything south of the grasslands, which is essentially the unknown space in the world, the wilds, the unexplored wilds, which is where um, Mortho and Zarya and the Darkness, originally his army, was marching from, with the intent of, you know, capturing the grasslands. Now there's a giant glacier and mountain range in between those 2 points, called the Spine of the Dragon, which is a huge mountain range, which way back in the day, Harry pointed out as we rounded a bend and mentioned that it looked like a dragon. Um, Coincidentally, that's where its name came from, is that it's shaped like a big old dragon spine. But there is a portion of this glacier and mountain range that has a pass through it called the Dragon's Maw. Um, and this is kind of where the grasslands and the heroes made their last stand, you know, to keep the invading force back. With you know, that final battle happening, or excuse me, happening right exactly where the Tomb of the Fallen is in the grasslands. Um, so at this point, you know, the seven, the Sept, are all gone. You know, Zari and Martho are locked away in their eternal prison. The other five, you know, disappear. Their lines hidden with magic and, you know, various techniques throughout time and space to make sure that the darkness stays sealed away. And in their absence, their like squires and scribes and, you know, the people close to them ended up rising, you know, in both fame and power. You know, just for like having been with them when you know, XYZ happened, you know, for, you know, all these types of reasons. And to the point where the line of the king in the grasslands is actually the squire of one of the five. Um, let's see. Um, do, do, do. Yeah.
Hey. Hey, Monday, is that the reason this guy gave you so much trouble? He's one of the squires? Arresting you and everything?
No, no, no. That guy gives everyone trouble.
So that's kind of the story, the, kind of broader story of what's going on, what happened with the battle itself. And it was after all of this that, like the new castle was built. The Church of the First Lama kind of moved into the capital and became established as, the local religion. But in light of recent events that you folks are all aware of, involving some red-skinned adversaries that a few hundred years ago are responsible for blowing up the very island we're standing on. Come to find out, the advisor to the king of the grasslands currently is a man by the name of Tomato Head. I wish he had a cooler name, but that's...
I can't even.
But, and 17 and Pauldron kind of pipe up at this point, and they're like, we thought you'd be especially curious about that. Apparently, over the last X amount of bajillion years, hundreds of years in the grasslands, the advisor to the king has been a Pele Fel-Afian native, which they suspect kind of explains how you folks got tossed into the rock in the first place.
So we have to get back to the capital and make this guy into spaghetti sauce. Got it.
17 kind of laughs, and Captain Pauldron says, we knew the next part would be exciting for you. He says, we've been planning a revolt against the capital for a long, long time. He says, we thought you folks might be just the ones to ask to come along.
Harry, somewhere in the background, jumps on the table, knocks over his glass, throws out his hip, dancing.
He's like, falls off the table into the crowd and starts crowd surfing around. He says, now, part of the breaking into the prison, was a test, to see, obviously, if it could be done, how easy it would be, etc. Because, as you folks may recall, the Rock was once a fort back in the Wizarding War called the Blockade, and that would be the first place to essentially take over if you were going to try and assault the capital, but then it would be the perfect place to, be your forward operating base, and, things like that.
So we got to take over the rock first.
That's one of the plans that they're considering, yeah. But perhaps just as interesting for you folks, uh, they slap a newspaper on the table, and the headline reads King Khan falls. You know, apex predator no longer. Blah blah. You know, catchy newspaper headline stuff. But they found out that Khan obviously was the one who set you guys up. The reason being, essentially the same reason that there was the Wizard War in the first place, you know, like 500 years ago. There's something in the capital that the Wizard Nation wants. And at this point, they presume that it has to be one of the artifacts. And in order to prevent, you know, anyone foiling this whole plan, and you know, to get you guys all out of their hair in one fell swoop, you were tricked into blowing up, or not blowing up, but providing the elements required to blow up the Mages Guild. Effectively removing the Mages Guild from the board, from the chessboard, removing you folks from the chessboard, and you know, obviously, we can only presume benefited Khan in the grand scheme of things of Zarya and Mortha. But all reports now indicate that Khan Industries and Khan Tower are headed for ruin. They were, you know, the major importer-exporters of mahogany and, you know, red rock, emeralds, etc., from the nearby faraway islands to the mainland. But that seems to be no longer the case.
Oh, Jada, it looks like we have a rock of a quarry on our hand.
Yeah. Brock wants to smash a story. Got it.
So, as you folks have been trying to search for the artifacts, naturally, other people in the world are doing the same thing. And because of that, it's hard to keep track naturally of where the artifacts are now. Like there's, you know, you can track down or catch rumors of where one has been, but it's, you know, it's really hard to pinpoint where one actually is.
It sounds to me, my deductive reasoning, that this Shere Khan guy is using his transportation company as a way to move these artifacts around. And then Brock blacks out.
Right on. The ones are nods, and he's like, that is a definite possibility.
Who said that?
He says that he knows that a sizable amount of resources in general has, you know, moved through Khan's hands, and it would be easy to, you know, slip like a magic dagger into one of the shipments, and you know, no one would ever notice.
We need to find out something first. 17, is your armor one of those artifacts?
He like bangs on his chest plate, and he's like, I wish. He's like, oh, it's just purple.
Because
I
get close enough to that field on the prison, we can see if the powers are lost after it's used.
He says that the armor's been in his family a long time, but it's not that old. He said it's much too new to be one of the artifacts. But he's like, it is pretty cool though, huh? Totally could be.
Yeah. I just use my pecs to cover it. That's my armor.
What were you about to say, Monday?
I also wanted to point out to Pauldron and the Onceler and 17 that we're gonna need we're gonna need to assemble a large force at some point as well, because we have impending threats from all directions coming, and we're gonna need a force to save the realm in general. So perhaps in part of destroying or plundering the capital, we could also maybe, like, part of that, we could try and find a group of people to help us do that and make potential new ally.
Right on. He says that, yeah, obviously before, the full assault on the capital, uh, there's going to need to be a sizable force to do that. He says he knows that, X amount from Cutlass Cove, obviously, just because Pauldron asked him to, not, and then again, especially because you folks would be asking as well, who would just do it based on that. The Onceler presumes that at least some of the Paleban Anya would join as well. But that, obviously further rallying more troops could only benefit the group.
Also, let's make sure we have plenty of cannonballs so he don't stuff himself into a cannon again and wind up against a wall.
Also, I forgot what I was going to say. I'm sorry.
That's all right. You'll remember in just a second. No pressure. All right, so let's see. Your librarian from the Bastion kind of nudges the Onceler a little and, slides a couple drawings across the table to him. And the Onceler's like, "Oh, I almost forgot. This might be nothing." He said, "But I also thought it could be a wild coincidence, otherwise, and he shows you old, like, gold leaf, kind of like drawings from, like old manuscript illustrations of the first llama and the llamas of the apocalypse. And in these images, in the center stands the first llama, in, all varying shades of purple, as we traditionally see the Fortnite llamas, and is flanked on either side by llamas of varying color. On the left and right, a red and white, and on the left a red and white, and on the right a black and white one. And there's, from several different manuscripts, this similarly themed image of the first llama standing there again, purple, to the left and right. Did I say white and red and black and white? That's white twice. Whatever the other colors are, they're not purple. That's the whole point. But then he slides forward the Order of the First Llamas, holy text, where there is a clear depiction in both actual image and in description in the text of the first llama being white from head to toe. And if the math works out from the ancient texts, in between when those were first discovered and the translations of the Order of the First Llama, the white llama was the llama of conquest. The purple has always been like a holy color, you know, associated with royalty, etc., etc. The first llama, that's the whole reason that purple is that way. But then here we have, in the standing religion, it's actually a different colored llama, which means that those things don't line up anymore. And it could be a coincidence, it could all be metaphorical, or the Order of the First Llama is actually worshipping the llama of conquest, and not the first llama. Not to get all, like, woo-woo on you guys, but...
Alright, so I gotta kill some llamas. And find out what the color they really are. Right?
We'll find some llamas, track them down. Well, our luck, we'll find one of those gold llamas. We'll just be... we'll never find out. But yeah, that's pretty much what's going on currently in the world. You know, this is all information that they've gleaned from, you know, varying reports and, you know, combing through ancient documents and, you know, legends and etc., etc. But they kind of address the fact that, you know, whatever's going on, this world seems to be unraveling itself.
Rock looks over at Mund and he says, I don't know how I'm supposed to be feeling right now. How am I supposed to be feeling?
It's okay. It's okay. Drink this. I hand Brock a slurp, and it has a brick quill in it, which is known to make people fall to slumber quickly. And I say, drink this, and it'll be okay, my dear, dear, dear friend.
Sniffs it. On a 15.
I grab it out of his hands and I chug it before he can do anything about it.
This was the wrong color for slurp.
Monday immediately takes a nap. Wow,
that was good slurp.
But 17 says, I know what my plan is. To get revenge. Yeah.
I wake up and I say, and I'm still obviously inebriated from the slurp juice, and I say, that's a 17. That's a 1 and a 7, and you know what, numbers? I'm so proud of you. You're way more badass than I thought you were.
So, a couple people in the crowd hear you mumbling, stumbling through your words, and they're like, his name is Robert Pauldron.
That's right. His name is Robert Pauldron. And I am just like inebriated on more slurp juice than I've ever drank in my entire life, because I'm actually the first time I've ever done it. Monday doesn't normally do this kind of thing.
Right on. Yep.
Harry looks at everybody and says, and they say I'm the mumbling fool.
Somebody in the back goes, nobody says that.
Well, you can imagine.
But yeah, so
what? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
But I seriously though, I want. Is everyone listening to me? Like, no, seriously, I need to take a minute because I need to tell everyone this, and I look around to see if everyone is paying attention to me.
Mostly.
Okay, I say, listen, listen to me, okay? I need to tell you, I really can't go back to my other place because here I'm like not dumb, and back there I'm a nobody. So whatever this incursion stuff is, whatever we gotta do, I don't care. We're gonna do it because this is my home now, and I'm not going back.
A general roar of approval goes through the tavern. You know, people are like, "Yeah, Monday." 17 comes over, gives you a big hug. He's like, "It's okay, little buddy."
Oh, thanks, big guy. And I grab the, if he allows it, I just say, thanks, buddy. And I grab the slurp juice out of his hands and I chug it.
He just kind of watches it happen, like, what?
So, is Monday turning into like a drunken master or something?
It looks that
No,
way.
I'm definitely not drinking anymore after this. This is a one-time only thing.
Until the next thing they introduce to the game is Slurp Stamina Juice, or, you know, banana pancake infused slap juice. Monday's just rapping all over the place, throwing cans over his shoulder.
So RP, how do you plan on getting this revenge?
He says, that, you know, that's the thing they've been figuring, you know, this whole time. They've been trying to come up with an idea that'll work. And he says, like, he feels like with you guys on the team that, you know, this is the best shot they've got so far. But he knows that the first thing they got to do is they got to essentially take over the castle somehow. They got to remove the king from the chessboard, and in doing so, you know, hopefully remove control of Zarya and Martho over the grasslands and give it to somebody else.
All right, so we load the cannons port side with ourselves. We have someone fire them towards the castle, and we fight our way through.
He's like, I like the way you think.
Harry says,
Monday.
Been there, done that.
Monday, overhearing Brock and Robert Poldrin talking, Monday they chime in and they say, they say in a way poking fun at Brock, but in a playful way, not like a mean-spirited way. He looks at Brock and he looks at Robert Poldrin and he says, yeah, RP, what are we gonna do? Go over there and take over the king and overthrow the king and topple their king, just like you said, RP?
He's like, I think. What's going on right now?
Monday's clearly had too much slurp. Brock, you know, sometimes Brock says he smashes, but yeah, I don't think he can actually smash. And I just look at Brock.
Is that smash enough for you?
After flying across the hallway, I get up and I say, all right. Brock smash. Brock smash good. And Monday kind of just calms down, collects themselves, and realizes they've drank too much slurp.
starts double fisting banana pancakes and pizzas.
Exactly.
Just goes to full on munchie mode. Um, but yes, 17 says he doesn't know if it'll help the overall cause or not, but that he thought that you folks in particular would be interested in finding revenge against a certain tiger fellow. Um, but that while they're
Harry
raising,
opens his spell book behind everybody, flips through a couple of pages, and says, "Oh yeah, and I have a plan for his body afterwards. He's gonna be my permanent servant."
the, the
I
the Onceler
look
checks his notes real quick, and he's like, "Oh my God, what spell is he talking about?"
I look at the Onceler and I say, "You thinking what I'm thinking?
So God, I hope not.
Let's start a holy war." What?
Yeah.
No? Oh, okay. My bad.
we that's it's just that's we're talking about all out war against the capital at this point. So holy or unholy, uh
I look at the Pirate King and I say, "How many ships do we have in the fleet so far?"
he says that counting yours, he believes he can count on 10 other ships. Or
So we need to unify the pirate crews.
uh he says that he's not entirely sure uh, that that'll ever happen. He said that he can put out the call, and like he said, he knows, or he believes, with you guys included, that there's 10 ships that'll come currently.
Tell them they can have all the treasure in the castle. They'll come.
Right.
I look at Brock and everyone talking, and I try to I at this moment I realize I've lost focus and no one is paying attention to me anymore. And being the center of attention that I am, I try to interject myself, and I say, yes, and also we need other allies. What if we can we send word to the frat giant? Is that a possibility? Is he still partying across the lands? Is that still going on?
Wait a minute.
uh,
You're friends with a giant?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the frat giant that's been partying across the lands for over a year. He's been he's one of our allies. We made friends with him a long time ago.
That's so freaking cool.
he's a stone giant, if I recall.
Yeah, yes, I do believe he is a stone giant, but we definitely call him like frat bro or something. If it escapes me slightly, but yes.
I can't remember his name either, and I invented him. So
Around the corner, and they say, "They called him Doug."
but the Onceler comes out and he's like, "Come on, Monday, come here, buddy, come here. Why don't you come sit down here, bud? I got you a spot."
I stumble over to the bed and I get into it and I lay down and I say, "Whoa, whoa, am I floating right now? Why is everyone so vertical?"
He's the one's just like, "No, we just turned up the revolution of the planet. You're fine."
Oh, thank goodness. For a second there, I thought I was intoxicated.
Wasn't this the guy who was sitting on the ceiling earlier?
Yeah. We had to get him down with a broom. So maybe
Like
pineapple.
he's the red web guy from your holy texts.
Yeah. So maybe pineapple juice for this one next time. But yeah. So
When a bear is sleeping, do you give them a teddy bear?
Maybe like a
When a
teddy
bear is
person?
sleeping, you give them a president. Boom, did it.
What?
Because the teddy bear is a small plushie that you give to a small child to rest, and
Yeah.
it was named after Teddy Roosevelt, the president. So what do you give a bear
Oh.
when they're sleeping? You give them a president.
There you go, a little tiny president.
There you go. That's Jack-O-Lantern from Halloween Town.
It's weird. The only thing that we have with a teddy bear, I think, is that weird microphone. Here you go, bear boy.
That's so creepy. It's watching over me as I'm asleep. And it's like suspended in air.
It's just a weird, like, marionette. Just like dangling above you, dancing.
Don't move it, otherwise my dreams will be disturbed.
He's your guardian. Alright. So the long and oh geez.
There's Teddy McGraw.
That's it.
All right, now I know I'm intoxicated.
That's not a teddy bear, that's a full-on Theodore bear. Like, don't you call me Teddy. Yikes. But yeah. That's where we're at. We in the future, there was a whole other storyline that was supposed to transpire during all these other storylines, but it all revolved around Spicy's character. Whoops. But yeah, pretty much that's the gist of it. If you folks recall from your time in the vault, interrogating a tomato-headed robot, there are places on this world that directly correlate and are quantumly entangled to the constellation that the Skywalkers were from, the Star People. What was I saying?
You're walking in the sky.
The sky people that originated from underneath the rocks and the stone with the socks, and you got to get that lint out of them.
Yeah. Make sure to clean the lint screen in the dryer too.
Exactly.
Yeah. What was I saying? Somebody quick rewatch the stream. Do. I feel like it was important though.
Oh, the something about the communication when we were talking to the robot guy in the last vault.
Yeah.
Before we respawned the robot guy, and how we're communicating with the.
Yeah, but why was I telling you about it?
That I don't know.
Yeah. Long story short, at some point we need to invade the capital. The capital presumably is in possession of one of the artifacts. The hero most closely related, the one that the king's line was squiring for, was a paladin by the name of Alethor. Alethor the Brave, I believe was his name. And he apparently wielded a holy sword. That he could strike enemies over great distances with. like that. Uh, but beyond that, Khan may know more. Khan may have information and or further resources to support the conquest.
See you at the Capitol. I'm gonna start swimming.
Why was I telling you about the buildings being connected to the stars? I'll figure it out eventually. But yeah, this is pretty much.
Is there a place where we could find these sky people?
He says that, to the best of his knowledge, they all left during that, whatever that last age, whatever it was, in between their arrival and, you know, the whole Seven and the darkness, yada yada yada. But if what you all reported to him is true, then that robot, the whole point of the Pele Philadelphia giant circuit board city thing was to send a transmission to those very people, which the robot said they expected a response shortly. So how long that actually is? What's that?
So we need to find a way to get the response.
Right.
And I break every phone I see, so that doesn't help.
They've been trying to call you about your extended warranty. But yeah, he says that that has yet to be seen as well. But he presumes, just based on the time frame that all this is occurring, that, you know, whatever technology they possess now, whatever magic, whatever, you know, like influence they have over the universe, can only have grown since the last time they were here, which all of that technology is advanced enough that, you know, the natives all believe it's magic. So that's what's up.
So we need to go back to that old rotten banana thing. Maybe he knows more.
The brownest banana. He says potentially. He says but
Or as I like to
realistically,
refer him to as Banana the Hut.
Banana the Hut. Okay. The Sarlacc banana. I guess he'd need a beak, a CGI beak for that to be accurate. But yeah, he believes that the you know, as much faith as he has in the oracle of the Peleban Anya, he says that it might be time for more like you know.
Smashing?
Yeah. No, he says more for you know, modern wisdom and less of the ancient. He says it might. He says he thinks it's, you know, not to be cliche or anything, but he says he feels like it's the age of the heroes. You know, that this now has gone from, you know, something that's out of the world's hands to now, you know, something that they can actually grasp. So, that's the question at this point, is the direction you folks want to head. Though, since only one of the two of the three story beats got to happen, we may not find out until next time. But this is probably a good time to mention, you guys haven't seen Spicy all day.
Suspicious.
Very suspicious. You know that Musa had some stuff to take care of, in the Pele Bananya Preserve. And Gen spends a lot of their time at the Bastion. They really like their little studio setup they got there. But Spicy, who obviously over the past months and weeks has made themselves a regular member of the team, they are curiously missing on this evening of companionship and revelry at the intoxicating swallow.
Hey, second oldest being on this island. Come here for a sec. You did that Mojo stuff, right?
Who's this?
Yeah, right. Second oldest, the wizard dude.
Oh, yeah. Harry, you're a wizard. You're a wizard, Harry.
Do you have anything you could do to try and help us figure out where he is right now? I've seen you predict the future a couple of times.
Well, I suppose I can consult my text to see if anything will come in handy.
All right. I tell you what, you consult your texts, and I'm going to refill my coffee, and I'll BRB.
There it is. I can use this right here called Find Birdie flying around the village. See if we can find him.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, sorry about that. I lost audio for a second.
Harry's getting ready to cast Find Familiar to send him scouting the port.
Oh, cool. We're looking for Spicy, or who are we looking for?
Spicy.
Oh, okay, cool.
Since I don't know who he's talking to, I have to know where he is.
Dum dum dum. I'm gonna eat this spicy burger.
Oh, maybe he's in that burger.
No. These are not people burgers. These are spicy burgers.
Yeah, he's a pepper.
Yeah, but he's a person. You know the difference between a person and a pepper, right?
No,
What did I
both being a
miss?
pig. So Harry's in the process of casting Find Familiar to look for Spicy. And Brock thinks Monday is eating spicy right now because he's eating a spicy burger.
And Monday's trying to explain to Brock that there's a difference between people and peppers.
What if that people is a pepper?
Right on.
If that people is a pepper, then that's one pepper you don't put inside your peeper. How many pickled peppers can you pick?
Shut up.
All right, you guys had enough slurp apparently. For those of you in chat who don't know, our in-game explanation for slurp and how it works is all your little hearts up there is the amount of slurps that your little Lego figure can hold inside them. Like they're hollow. They have all the hearts are little, like little cups essentially, and so when you're hurt, your slurp leaks out a little, and so your heart's empty. And you can drink slurp to regain hearts. You're essentially topping off. But then once you have completely topped off, if you keep drinking slurp, then your slurp to Lego ratio is off, and you start getting woozy. So if anybody was wondering what's going on in our kid-friendly game, we drink too many health potions.
No, that being said, makes sense now? You're eating a pepper burger. You drink slurp. Slurp is what's inside of you.
That's where that whole taste
Inherently
great, less filling thing comes from.
Inherently, you're drinking Lego figure.
No, Brock, we've been over this, buddy.
Technically Lego figure juice.
We're all a bunch of vampires.
None of this sounds right. That's all I know. But all right.
So Harry is going to cast Find Familiar to find Spicy. He's going to send a little raven to fly, or actually a seagull, since we're at a seaside port, to look for him.
Excuse me. Alrighty. I am not familiar with the wording of the spell. Could you read it to me, please?
Basically, he can summon a creature that can fly up to a mile away from him, and he can see through their eyes.
So it's like warging, kind of.
From Game of Thrones, pretty much.
Yeah. Find familiar. All kinds of things. Telepathic connection.
You could also cast touch spells through it, like
Gotcha.
Vampiric Touch.
You can only have one familiar at a time. Okay.
And he's going to try and call Gan's angry seagull.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Dun, 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 dun. Kahar, the angry seagull.
I rolled a 18 for Arcana.
Right on. Let's see if I go to sort by most recent. My poor eyeballs. There we go.
He peeks around the corner and says, "Hey, Monday, why does my seagull say that Spicy's in your burger?"
Oh, okay. I can explain this. So basically, you know how Brock not so bright? Well, Brock see me eat spicy burger. Spicy also name a friend. Brock think friend in burger. Brock no realize Burger not spicy. Person. Burger spicy taste.
What?
He thinks that because it's called a spicy burger, that it's made of spicy.
Taps you on the shoulder and points to the treasure chest.
That's not what I meant to do. I meant to get out of my chat channel. Meow, 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 meow. My menus have been doing the craziest thing lately.
Harry walks out. Move aside, guys. So, you know that jalapeno pepper guy? You can see in my head what he looks like. We're looking for him. See if you can find him for me.
Wait, is this real life? Wait, what's happening right now?
Kahar,
Wait, do you
Kahar
actually
lands
look?
in front of you. Yeah. Goes like, I come far, very far, across big water. What you want? Where's meat
Harry says,
pie?
look into my head and look for the jalapeno pepper looking guy. We're looking for him right now. He's missing.
No deal. You give meat pie, no deal. Stupid bear.
Harry pulls
I
out
throw
a sack
him a
of fish.
stack of pancakes.
Right on.
Harry grabs a swordfish from the kitchen and brings it out. How about for this?
And I say, I am a stupid bear. Tell your friends.
It's never liked you, bear. Kahar swoops off, dips off into the alleys and causeways of the town, and a short while later, you see through Kahar's eyes, Spicy, down the end of a nearby alley, talking to two gentlemen that you do not recognize.
Telepathically tell Kahar to just like land on a rooftop and listen in.
I don't know if I have any listening emotes. The opposite of listening, but it was fun. So Kahar goes off, lands, and you hear Spicy talking to these two folks, and they're asking about the rock. They want to know the condition of the anti-mojo field. Asking just various like technical questions about the place, and wanted to know essentially what he found out around the capital. And Spicy is freely relaying information with these folks. It doesn't seem forced. It doesn't seem like he's under any kind of pressure.
Harry strokes his beard, listening to this information. What's with the youngins in the leather jackets and sunglasses always falling in with the wrong crowds?
And I believe, if I recall correctly, you also have some other information about Spicy that currently you're the only person who has both these pieces of information at the moment. So what would you like to do?
Mind probe.
What's that?
When he resisted my mind probe.
That's right. So, yeah, what do you want to do?
So Harry comes out and says, "Yep, that jalapeno pepper guy. You should probably turn him into a burger."
What? What? Why?
Well, let's see. I know he ain't gonna understand it if I say, "What's that supposed to mean over here?" No, just trust me. All right,
Oh,
fine.
okay.
Listen.
I can understand it though.
Yeah, of course you can. You read books.
That is, I
Big,
read
thick
very
books.
smart, important, big books.
So Harry basically relays the information to Monday about what he found out about Spicy, on also about the fact that he was able to resist his divination probe, and that he was relaying technical information about the rock.
Oh, I see. This is not
Great.
good.
Let me put two and two together here. You're telling the guy who has nightmares about destroying the world that one of his friends is a bad guy? Yeah, this is gonna end good.
Brock, next time we see Spicy, smash. And Monday just looks incredibly disappointed.
Did you hear that, chat? The party is turning against itself. Um, hey, what happened to my first-person camera? Yeah, agree with me.
Wait a second. It doesn't sound right. He's had plenty of opportunities established in the back. He's caught between worlds. He's got
I
to make the
know.
tough decisions.
Okay, smash, but don't respawn. We need to. We needed to. We need to question him, and I think it might get slurpy.
So, is there anybody who's good at art? Oh, so our library guy from the Bastion, he's good at art, apparently, right?
uh, he uh, he might be. The things that he had were like excerpts from manuscripts and stuff like that.
All right,
So,
because Harry wants to relay what the looks of the individuals who the seagull saw into a sketch form, so we know who they are when we see them again.
hmm,
Since Harry's the only one who knows what they look like.
right. Um, roll me just a insight check. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna do a sketch per se, but we'll see if you notice certain things about them.
Insight is one of his strong skills.
Yeah,
28.
28. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Um, there's not a lot unique about their face or necessarily their hair or anything like that, but they are both definitely dressed in not a local manner. They're definitely foreign in their attire, um, like bordering
Now,
on uniforms, but not quite uniforms.
Now, does Harry recognize this style from the capital?
Um, history check.
You're making it too easy on Harry.
have
That
you
was a
tried
15.
rolling lower?
But
15.
15. That's it.
Yeah, roll a 6.
Right on. He vaguely recalls um, when he was applying to the Mages Guild. It seems like the front desk clerk there was wearing not the same thing, but something similar. So uh, it's got kind of that off mainland vibe to it.
So this makes a whole lot of sense to me now.
What's going on? Spill the beans, or in this case, the peppers.
So, ain't it ironic how they blew up the Mage Guild on us and blamed us for it?
Yeah, I don't understand what this could possibly have to do with what's going on. You imbecile. Now explain to me why.
Well, if you listened to what the other guy said, the mages are trying to get the artifact out of the capital. So what do you do if you're trying to get an artifact out of a capital? You set up a bastion in their own capital so they have a base of operations. We were the ones who were framed for blowing up that base of operations.
Oh yeah, you know what? Now that I think about it, that is 100% completely. Yeah. Okay, you know what? I take it back. You're right. I was wrong. I am the imbecile.
And Spicy is talking to people from that mage cult.
Oh no.
At least based off of appearance. They had very similar garbs to that lovely desk clerk who I hope was in that building when it blew up.
Listen, Harry. I know I don't really talk about this much, but if we don't keep going on the right path, if we don't make changes, I've seen what my future becomes.
Monday,
Yeah.
they blew up the Mage Guild. The mages are the bad guys trying to steal the artifacts from us.
Yeah, I know. And I'm saying that I have to preserve the alternative future as much as possible. So I think we need to go against every inch of anger. And I think we need to set Spicy up and maybe leverage this newfound information in such a way so that we could potentially not only get Spicy back, get our revenge, but also gain more insight into exactly what's going on here. And maybe even get a weak spot that we can put pressure on.
I got a better idea.
What's that?
Harry talks to the seagull again. Follow them where they're going and let me know, and I'm gonna send Brock after them.
Kahara just nods. Yeah. Fucking zips
I
off
like that plan.
into the sky.
I'll make him talk with the hammer.
So, time passes, and you get a little spider sense tingle that lets you know your familiar sees something, or is trying to contact you to let you know you need to see something. And after following these individuals for a couple hours, they walk down to the end of an alley that takes a 90-degree turn, and as they walk around the corner, a portal opens up, and they just walk through the portal, and it closes behind them.
What in the absolute frag just happened? Harry's thinking if that's what it looked like when he arrived here.
Give me another history check.
That one was a natural 20.
Yeah. They are very similar. Not exactly the same, but definitely very similar. It was definitely a controlled rift of some kind. It definitely wasn't the type, that have been like the holes that are ripped open. This one seems intentional and precise.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go to where that little magic-a-majig opened up. I'm gonna sit out front of it with a hammer. The second someone comes out of it, I'm swinging.
Just whack-a-mole.
Harry's like, I think I might have had one of those in my restaurant.
Sorry, I just think it's funny because they're spies. You know, they're moles. Anyways.
Harry pulls out a large bucket of fish from the tavern and puts it in front of the seagull.
Right on. He's deeply appreciative. He's like, yeah, this season big, strong, get many, many mates.
And if I could get my hands on some of that powers they're using, we can send this stuff to your mates without you having to carry it.
Yeah. It's a good plan. Very good plan.
I look at him and I know that if I say anything, he'll hate me. So I just pretend not to be like a total fan person and like try to look the other way, but I just can't.
Who are you a fan of? I missed something.
The bird. The bird is cool.
Kahar.
The seagull. Yeah, Kahar.
Yeah. Kahar. That's his name, yeah. Yeah. He works for Meat Pies, bro. He was there for the escape, both escapes actually. He led the charge on the guard tower that got fertilizer directly into the guards' eyes so they couldn't shoot you as you were getting away. All kinds of fun stuff Kahar's been up to. And most recently, apparently, flew across an entire ocean just to be here for when Trone cast a spell.
Well, somebody
Oh,
had
that's
to
how that works. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. It's not that I had a whole subplot for the prison with this bird that we never did. Dun-dun.
All right, so I'm going to let Harry lead us to where the portal is and see if he can figure out a way to open it.
Alrighty. Give me 1 second. I don't know where the emotes went. What is that? Birdorang Flourish? That's not what I wanted to do. Oh, that's Robin's stupid thing.
As you're getting ready, I lean over at Harry and I say, "Hey, listen, Harry. Listen. If I see Spicy before you do, I might really lose my temper. You're gonna have to hold me back, otherwise Dark Olives is coming out tonight."
Are you asking a 100-year-old man to try and stop a physical specimen such as yourself?
I mean, like with your magic, you don't. Wait a minute. So by your own logic, what you're admitting to right now, the famous Harry Spellfield is admitting to me that this right here, right and left arm that are registered lethal weapons can't be stopped by any of your spells.
Vigilante Injustice.
That's
Harry's
right,
very
Vigilante
tempted to
Injustice.
go right now and have him grovel.
Wait, could you repeat that one more time, Trone?
Harry's finding it very hard to resist the urge to cast command on you and have you grovel.
Okay. I relent.
So you
And Harry looks at you and he says, "And you think you're the darkest one of the team? I've been planning to blow up that city since I left the prison."
I can't. I want so bad to say something really cool right now. I can't upstage that.
Heck yeah. But yeah, you guys, it's starting to get the early wee hours of the morn. The sun's starting to come up. But you work your way out to where the rift was, and what did you want to do?
So Harry's going to do like some arcane checks to see if there's an activation switch or something somewhere for it,
Okay.
or if there's like a residual aura through scrying that it was activated by some sort of existential magical device.
Right. There's like something like it's generated on the spot, essentially.
Or if it's something that they use from the other side.
Right. Gotcha. Um.
And that arcana check was 23.
23. All right. Yeah. You kind of look around for usual like sigils, runes, anything like that, like a sprinkling of magic dust, or any thing that might seem out of the ordinary. And you can't find any like it's not like someone walked up and spoke a command word, and this was either cast by the individuals themselves, or it was generated from elsewhere, and they went in.
Right, I can try to cast divination to find out something, but that's going to take a long, long time. And they may come out of there again before then.
Right.
So, I'm going to try and set up a glyph of my own for a little alarm sound if they do come out.
All right. What's the plan for that?
So he's going to make a little glyph that is right near where the portal opened.
Let's go back in some random alley. We'll just do this one behind the magic shop, since that makes the most sense. We'll say it happened right in front of this dumpster.
All right. So I'm going to use one of these little first order red lights as a glyph of alarm. So if anything comes through this portal, that alarm is going to trigger to Harry.
All right.
Which he is going to then connect to the teletrons.
Beep, 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 beep.
And that spell cast was a 26.
All right. So yeah, you graffiti the back of the potion shop. And that will, when this goes off, if it goes off again, or is it now? How is it? What is it actually detecting? Is it detecting like the magic, or is it, how does it
Magical
detect?
portal opening.
So just specifically a magic portal opening.
Yeah.
Copy that. All right. So we got a little trap set.
In an attempt to look cool in front of the seagull, I pull out a very big, very important book titled Primate Directive. Swing first, ask later.
All right.
I like that book.
Kahar just go. Tries too hard.
Well, what, you don't like that one? If you don't like this one, I also read Swingonomics, the branch-based economy. You're so cool. As he looks away, I just drop my head in disappointment.
Stupid bad.
Harry just smirks at you and looks back at Kahar. Well, I appreciate your help. But if you got something else to do, you don't need to stick around anymore. I'm sure Gan wants you to go fishing with him or something.
Yeah, we go a big water. We soar and dive and fly. I do this much. This is very important. The big water.
Hey, old man. Is this bird always this weird?
Well, you'd have to ask the ranger guy that. He's the one who was friends with him.
All right, well, at least I don't have to sit in front of here because that old man actually knows what he's doing with stuff like this.
Why are all my swivels always broken?
Well, you do have the Heroes of Villageville in town, so.
Yeah.
You know, I never realized how different both of your voices are from each other. You know that, Brock and Harry? If I didn't say so myself, I'd say you're the same person.
Why would you think I'm the same person as him?
Yeah, seriously. Where'd you get that from?
Sorry. because you said, because you sound so similar.
Well, maybe he just has good taste.
Yes, I'm exactly sure that's what it is.
I don't think they sound anything alike.
No, they don't. I'm just being silly.
Me too. I just mainly wanted my bird to look back and forth between you two.
Seriously. There's only so many voices in the world, I guess.
Is he shaking his head yes on your screen?
It's like he's dancing to his own internal music.
No. I wish the head control was a little more... Oh, I don't know what just happened to his head, but it was crazy. Anyways, I wish the head control was a little more fine. You could actually do like a little kind of puppeteering with him. It'd be entertaining. But, yeah, it is 9:50. I fully expected there to be 2 other people talking this whole time. So we have beat My Story Beats to death at this point. Lots of things going on in the world. A lot of people looking for the artifacts. And you guys are smack dab in the middle of it now. So, whoa.
Stack something? Cool. I like that.
I like the middle.
Your metal daggers look awesome on my screen. I've never seen them all one color like that, I don't think, before. They look dope.
I got 2 of them, see?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Trone's got a big hammer. Speaking of the new weapons, I was trying to think how to possibly, make the fact that you can just like we were talking about, if you have 3 spells, you can just cycle through them and, just one after the other. I was thinking potentially implementing a rule where, say you overheat one of your guns, you have to read a Klombo tome or, one of the whatever tomes, the rune tomes, before you can use that gun again. So that way, you could still cycle through at like a slow rate, but if you start doing like crazy amounts of damage, you kind of got to like prepare your spell again, kind of thing. I've been messing around too with the damage and whatnot from the hammer. Apparently doesn't have any effect on stone, which is cool. None of the weapons can hurt stone currently. But it can hurt wood, which is weird. Not really, but definitely had to go and redo a couple places in my world where I'm like, we're definitely going to have a fight here someday. I'd hate for the whole entire floor to fall out, so. Because, yeah, that's the hardest thing about all this is making environments that you guys can have a fight in and not, like, just completely obliterate the whole place, So I don't want to be like, oh, you guys just got this cool weapon, but you can't use it in this next adventure, you know? Stuff like that. So I've been doing a bunch of testing. I kind of suspect at this point that they're going to implement some kind of like, damage systems, like, bludgeoning, piercing kind of stuff. Uh, because, for example, one of the things I noticed, we were talking about it last time, if I throw out a balloon and a thruster, even with this, the best pickaxe in the game, that still took 3 strikes, and then the balloon, pretty much same thing. But if I throw those same things out, and hit them with my one shot from my crossbow, they pop. So that leads me to believe pointy thing balloon versus, smashy thing balloon. So maybe we'll come to a point where, like skeletons take less damage from swords, but hammers do more damage to them, and, things like that. So that's what I'm hoping for.
One shot's balloon.
Yeah, but, if you use just like a gem pickaxe, which, is like everybody's kind of standard, go-to for stuff like that, I think it takes like 5 hits to break a balloon. 2, 3, 4, 4. But at any rate, I'm hoping that when we get these coming updates and whatnot, that we do get kind of a reworking of all the weapons across the board, because these new ones having secondary attacks, the damage and stuff like that.
One of which is deactivated when you have fly mode on.
What's that?
One of which is deactivated when you have flying mode on. The slide, jump slide with the hammer.
Oh, is it? I don't recall it being turned off. I'm pretty sure I beat the snot out of a bunch of sheeps. Yep. There it is.
Not that one. Oh, there it is, yeah.
Yeah,
there we go.
You hold your secondary and then do your regular attack button.
That's gonna be fun charging into battle with that.
Right. Yeah, a lot of the new stuff is fun. But yeah, like I was saying, I'm hoping they're gonna implement a new system for that. Also kind of curious, obviously, how they're gonna implement the classes, because I don't see that porting over directly, obviously. To start, the buttons are different, So
my thing is, it's going to be tied to a talisman.
Yeah, that's what I'm
or
thinking
an item.
too.
Because there's that one inactive talisman slot that's on expeditions right now that you can't equip anything on.
That's for your healing item. That's where your potions go in the missions. But are you gonna get a like totem or talisman or whatever that now you're just a whatever class? Or what I'm wondering also is it gonna be like, are they gonna redo equipment slots too, to be like, oh, now you can have 3 equipment slots and one of them is this ability and one of them's that ability, you know what I mean? So yeah, we'll see what happens. But
actually, that would make the most sense, because in that mode you have 2 weapons equipped and 3 active slots.
Yep.
You have 5 slots total on your toolbar.
Yeah. So we'll see. And then of course all the runes in Expedition are different from the ones in here, so I'm envisioning a pretty major revamp of combat, which not gonna lie is a little discouraging when I'm trying to figure out what to do next, because as we experienced in the prison with, the mechanics changing right in the middle, it kind of threw everything off for a little bit, And I kind of suspect the same thing is going to happen here, where, At the very least, I hope they'll make it so that enemies stop spawning with wooden weapons, because that's obnoxious as all get out. Like, you guys already just decimate everything you come across, but then they don't even have good weapons, you know? But we should be getting all the Dago enemies from expeditions, what are they called? The Spire Guardians, all
And the
that.
actual spires themselves.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll be able to spawn them in, but everything else, from what I understand, will be able to be spawned in the game, which is pretty cool. Because at the very least, we'll have some new enemies, and hopefully, at least the new enemies will have like updated weapons and stuff like that. Because, like I was saying, you guys already just cream everything, but then to throw even more powers on top of weak enemies, you know what I mean? But I'm not, you know, I have faith, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I think it's going to be all right, but I also, like I'm saying, I don't know what to do specifically in the meantime, because I know that literally in 2 weeks it could all change.
So got it. Attack the capital sooner rather than later.
Yeah, right.
Before we're fighting dummies wielding gem hammers.
Right. See, and that's part of it a little frustrating for me, is like, who knows? And then if I wait, in 2 weeks, and then you guys will have laser rifles and tactical nukes and ability that transforms enemies into chickens. You know what I mean? It'll just be like chaos that I never planned for, But as usual, that's part of the fun here. It's always chaos that I can't really plan for. But yeah, we'll see what changes they bring. I've got high hopes, but have long since learned not to hold my breath. So but that will bring us right up to 10 o'clock. Did you guys have any other questions, concerns, or curiosities that you'd like to address before we get out of here?
So if I put Spicy into a grain mill, does he come out as 2 seeds?
I think at least 3 seeds. He's a pretty big pepper. Like the ones that we get around the map, they're tiny compared to Spicy, so there's got to be at least 3 in there. That's what I'm guessing. Or maybe just 2 really big seeds. Like each seed is the size of a pumpkin.
Or splits into 3 peppers and then those turn into 6 seeds.
Right. Spicy's really just 3 smaller peppers in a trench coat.
That'd be iconic. But then you'd just be Peabody.
Right. Such a good skin. I wish a lot more of the skins translated better into Lego. But I mean, obviously there's some limitations involved, but but yeah. Big huge battle that you guys know all about. Battle spilled into the grasslands. Certain places in the grasslands that are now apparently targets for and well, maybe even defended positions, maybe not targets for Zarya and Martho, but targets for the Mage Guild and other adventuring parties. The advisor to the king has been poisoning the king's ear secretly for years. And the church is probably corrupt.
Tomato pizza.
It does look like tomatoes, doesn't it? What's wrong with that pepperoni? And one of the party is doing back alley dealings that none of you know much about. So that's, I guess, where we're leaving off for tonight.
I don't know who Ali is and why we want to back her up, but I think it's time to end the show.
it does seem to be just about that time. Um, I will let you folks sort out who wants to do their outro first and second, since there's only the two of us.
Sharon, you go
I
first.
think you go first.
Noses.
Ooh. Right. Sounds like Monday got you there, Tron.
All right.
Hey.
Sorry, controller glitches out.
Brock
Seriously.
smashed when he's angry.
No, I literally have to keep the cord around my controller for my laptop
Oh yeah.
because it's such a loose connection for the charging that it
Yeah.
falls out if I don't do it.
Yeah, dude. I got all kinds of controller issues too. I don't know, and I feel like they don't even make like hardwired controllers anymore. Like, and if they do,
Nope.
I can't find one.
I had one. I think the wife might have threw it out.
Right. Figures.
But on that note, this has been Kaverns Klombos at the Long Tom Lounge. I am Trone Karam. I've been working on some stuff behind the scenes with my son on his creative world. I built a mock replica of the Onyx Cinder from Star Wars I'm trying to perfect the build
Sweet.
on. And I've been upgrading my ship designs to get bigger and better while hiding the balloons.
Awesome.
And it all started with the General Ronimus small ship, and now I've turned it into a 10-passenger ship.
Right on.
Just growing it and growing it.
Whole
And now I'm adding my own
transport.
flares to it and stuff. But I've been having some fun. My kid's been out of school because it's summer, and his buddies have been playing Lego with him. So they get excited when I jump on the world with them, and it's fun. They get a kick out of it, and I build them all ships and stuff. So it's all good fun and good practice.
That's what that's what the game's about. It's honestly just like getting in there and getting your hands dirty and having a good time.
Originally, when I first started playing this, was because my sons were playing it with me, and then I just kind of fell in love with it myself.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, still working on the Star Wars world too. I got a pretty killer-looking Mandalorian enclave there, and I'm also working on another larger ship there too for story reasons and for the players to have a cruise ship, basically.
Right on.
Should be fun.
You got videos for a bunch of that up on your channel as well, right? Your live streams and all that.
The Star Wars video stuff is mostly live streams right now, but I will do some like short form videos just to show stuff off.
Yeah. It's not
And
a bad
maybe a
idea.
build video for something or the other.
Right. Awesome. Yeah, everybody check out Trone Gaming on YouTube. You can see his Star Wars roleplay server streams and the new content he was discussing coming up as well. Thank you as always for coming out, Trone. It's always a good time.
I would never miss the anniversary.
Right? Some people would. The funny
Sure.
the funny part is I'm sure they're both gonna feel terrible, but it's like what can you do? You know what I mean? Like I'm still like deeply alarmed that we've been playing for a year in general, much less that for the most part we've made every single session with the exception of holidays. But even then, Monday and I were here, so them missing a night, if any night, tonight's a good night to miss. It was just trying to get the story to the next general direction. And yeah, I'm sure we'll see them next week or whatever, and you guys can put Spicy on the spot. It'll be a good time. But yeah, like I say, and everybody check out Trone Gaming. And that will bring us to Monday.
I tried a... Oh, sorry. Okay, here I go. So, I tried to punch a frost tree, and now I'm part tree. They call me Root Paw. Anyway, I'm Monday Olives, and you've been watching Kaverns Klombos here live, streaming every Tuesday night from 8 to 10 p.m. ET at the Long Tom Lounge on YouTube, which I said twice, but I don't care because I'm that cool. Yeah, so, glue my foot to a launch pad. Yeah, that was a really tough situation. Anyway, will the banana of destiny ever ripen, or are we just peeling back madness one brick at a time? Some say it's prophecy, others say it's potassium. Find out next time as bold bricks bash bonked brawlers bounce backward weed blindingly. Until then, keep your paws. I can't believe I just remembered that. Yeah, that's my outro. I'm sorry. I'm too excited for how crazy of a ride it's been.
That was pretty good. And the best part was Human Bill was like just straight up photo bombing you the entire time. Like he was just like standing straight in your face, like, what are you talking about?
I'm just trying to be funny, but you can catch me on Only Bricks where I will build for gemstones.
Just do a little dance for some rubies.
Exactly.
But yeah, everybody check out Monday Olives on YouTube as well. See, hey, Shattenfills, thank you. Happy anniversary to everybody involved. Happy anniversary to being in chat, Shattenfills. Shattenfels was one of the original collaborators, and we have still yet to see the thing that Shattenfels built a year ago. But that's how things happen in K&K. But yeah, join us next week for more of the same as we try and figure out what's going on in the world and what's going on in the game. We will be treading water a little further. Hopefully I'll come up with something a little more fun next time to tread water with. But thank you everybody who came out. We definitely appreciate you all joining us for our little goofy sessions here. You know, sometimes like tonight we just kind of hang out and you know, goof off, and some nights we barely roll dice at all, and you know, we're just out here trying to have a good time and keep the game going. But yeah, deeply appreciate all of you. Haskin, Shattenfell, sincerely T, Syria, Surdo was out July. Let's see, Orion Caesar was out. A couple new names, Nevermore.
Burger King 47.
Yeah, I knew there was somebody in there. Which, by the way, I was like, it happened right when we were talking about the whole Capitol thing that they popped in, and I was like, this is too weird. Like, did somebody make up a a YouTube account just to come in for this? Did they hear what we were talking about? I'm like, super fan of K&K, or I'm gonna be the Burger King. But probably not. But yeah, definitely appreciate everybody who came out, and everybody who watches later, always. Everybody who's been using code LONGTOM in the shops for, you know, the past few months. Super appreciate that. And my subscriber count, which shockingly keeps going up despite not putting out any content in like 3 months. So yeah, thank you.
As the Cavern Master of one of the funnest and the only, first and only role-playing game in Caverns and Klombos, or in LEGO Fortnite Odyssey.
No, I
don't
think
know.
we should change it to Caverns and Klombos because we've done more for the game than Fortnite has for us so far.
Right. Got Kaverns and Klombos Odyssey. But yeah, another fun stream, and we will be coming up same bat time, same bat channel next week. And yeah, thanks again. But suppose that means there's only one thing left to do, adventurers.
What's that?
Say goodnight, adventurers.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, adventurers.
Good night, adventurers.
Good night, adventurers.
Good night,
Don't let Monday give him a slurp
adventurers.
next time.
Yeah. we're gonna cut him off.
You
I
have to
always
drink milk
forget.
from now on.
I always forget which button to hit